Shalom and welcome to the Jewels of Kabbalah, sponsored by the Kabbalah Project. This is Rabbi Yitzhak Michelson. Please consider subscribing and liking the videos, and send any suggestions you might have to ravyitzhak@kabbalahproject.com. Shalom everyone, and welcome to Jewels of Kabbalah. Today is Rosh Chodesh Adar, and Adar is very special to me as it's the month that I was actually born in, on the 5th of Adar. The month of Adar also has some significant meanings in Kabbalah, because there's a letter that's associated with each month. There's a tribe that's associated with each month of the 12 tribes of Yisrael. And there's also what's called a sense. So the letter that's attributed to the month of Adar is the letter Kuf. And the sense that's associated with the month of Adar is laughter. And then finally, the tribe that's associated with the month of Adar is Yosef. However, we know that Yosef is not really a tribe, that it's related to the two sons of Yosef, Ephraim and Manasseh. Now, it's interesting that this year is a leap year, which was also a leap year in the year of my birth. And when we have a leap year, there are 2 months of Adar. There's Adar Aleph, or the first Adar, and there's Adar Bet, the second month of Adar. And it's interesting to note that in the same way that there are 2 tribes connected to Yosef, Ephraim and Manasseh, it's said that this could represent both Adar Aleph and Adar Bet, the 2 months. Now, as it relates to laughter, why is the sense laughter? Well, in Adar, we come into the holiday of Purim, which is a time of great joy and a time of great celebration. And it's interesting, on Purim, we read Megillat Esther. We read the book of Esther. We read in the last chapter, chapter 9, verse 1, a very interesting verse about how things are turned around. And the Hebrew word there is v'nahafuch. Now, there's a connection in modern Hebrew, because in modern Hebrew, hafuch means upside down. And v'nahafuch means to the contrary, or to turn completely around. And so what we see is, in the month of Adar, what was known to be of a time of impurity, with Ahasuerus having this impure party, is completely turned around. Hafuch, turned upside down, and turned into a time of purity, which also relates to that letter Kuf that I mentioned at the beginning, because Kuf is the only letter that extends below the line. And it's said and taught in Kabbalah that Kuf represents Kedusha, which is holiness, and Klipot, which are the impure shells in Kabbalah, or the husks. And it's said in the month of Adar that this is the time that we have the ability, like no other month, to overcome the Yetzer Hara. That Kedusha, holiness, is able to overcome Klipot, able to overcome those impure shells. We're also in the last month, the 12th month of Adar, and it's still winter time. And sometimes winter time can be cold and depressing, and yet we have the smell of spring in the air, with Adar coming, with Purim coming, and then Pesach coming a little bit later, speaking of the redemption from exile. I mentioned how it's significant to my name. Well, my name is Yitzhak Moshe ben Ephraim. Yitzhak means laughter, and I said the sense of the month of Adar is laughter. My middle name is Moshe. How does that relate to the month of Adar? Well, Moshe Rabbeinu, Moshe our teacher, was both born on the 7th of Adar and his yurtzeit. His death was also on the 7th of Adar. And then I mentioned Ephraim and Manasseh. My name is Yitzhak Moshe ben Ephraim. So my name has all of the aspects of Adar. So I don't know about you. This has been a very cold and depressing winter for me. And I see this month of Adar bringing great joy and celebration. And I see v'nahafuch. I see a complete turning around. So Don't despair because it's still winter. Recognize that Adar is here. Joy and celebration is about to come, and spring is about to break. Shalom, shalom from the holy city of Tzfat.